Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra, and on this special edition, our focus is on the mutual fund space, especially after the AMFI data has come out, which has indicated that equity mutual funds have actually witnessed a net inflow of 2,906 crore rupees in the month of May of 2023, as against 5,275 crore rupees in April 2023, as per the data released by Association of Mutual Funds in India. Even though the SIP flows have continued to touch all-time high levels in May as well. Now, to discuss more insights from this data and also the outlook going forward for the mutual fund space, with me joining in is a very special guest. Mr. N.S. Venkatesh joins in. He's the Chief Executive at AMFI. Welcome, Mr. Venkatesh, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. The monthly net inflow data into the equity mutual funds, in fact, being seen as the lowest inflow since November of 2022, when the inflow had actually come in at around 224 crore rupees. Could you spell the reason behind the same?
I would say that compared to the last month, particularly, it has dropped. For the simple reason, I would say that one, there is a profit booking which should have happened. So people are booking their profits. That
Okay.
too, particularly from the large cap funds, they are
Mm-hmm.
taking their money out, which saw a net outflow in the large cap as well as in the flexi cap funds. And then rotating that money a little bit back into the mid cap and small cap funds. The
Mm-hmm.
mid cap and small cap funds are doing reasonably well. I would say the market preference slowly has shifted to the mid cap and small cap at this particular point of time, mainly because the uh, valuations of the mid cap and small cap stocks had undergone a steep correction during the phase of correction by around 60-65%. And from there, now it looks very attractive. So people are coming into the small cap funds to participate in the rally of the small cap stocks. So that
Okay.
is where you are seeing the differential happening. But I do agree that there has been a little bit of a drop in the equity net flows into the equity mutual funds, mainly because of the profit booking.
Okay, profit booking largely the reason behind it, and some more rotation into the small and the mid cap funds. Like you pointed out, the small caps have performed better, registered an inflow of 3,283 crore rupees as against 2,182 crores that was recorded in April. But is that likely to be the favor for the rest of the calendar year also?
I would think that it will be in flavor for the next 2 to 3 months,
Okay.
and then you will see the large cap also bouncing back. And large cap also will start getting the money in because the earnings of the large caps companies are really good. So that will indicate that the valuations of the large cap will also start moving up. So we will see money coming back into the large cap funds as well. But in the
Okay.
next couple of months, you will see the money coming in the mid cap and small cap funds.
Okay, next 2 to 3 months, mid and the small caps likely to be more in flavor. The equity linked savings scheme also, we saw an outflow of 505 crores in May of 2023. Would it be fair to say that a part of it, if not all of it, is also due to people opting for the new tax regime and perhaps pulling out of savings?
Essentially, new tax savings. In any case, you don't have that new regime. You don't have any incentive for saving into the equity-linked saving schemes. This is mainly because most of the people who have saved, the 3 year period is over and the waiting period is over. So they are booking their gains. They are taking that money out and saying that, okay, let me see what to do with this money if they are going to opt for the new tax regime. But if they are going to opt for the old tax regime, they can still put it back into the ELSS scheme.
Okay, okay. The SIP flows continue to hit record levels. Even in this month, we've seen the inflows through SIP hit a record of 14,749 crore rupees. I remember speaking to you last time and asking you what is your target, and you talked about 15,000 odd crore rupees coming in by the end of this year. But looks like that's going to happen perhaps next month itself. We've already seen this 14,749 crore rupees. If that's right, then what would be your year-end target now?
We'll be happy to see if it comes in the next month. But realistically speaking, I would say that maybe it will take at least another 3-4 months for it to reach up to those levels. So maybe for the year end we can target somewhere around 15,500 to 15,700 sort of numbers.
Okay. Now, on the debt side, Mr. Venkatesh, the inflow was registered at 45,959 crores in May. That's also halved from about 1 lakh crore rupees that we had seen previously. Is that any of that due to the tax law changes recently announced?
It is not so. Mainly, if you look at the debt funds, the
Hmm.
composition wise, if you are looking at it, you will see the money coming in the overnight funds and the liquid funds, which is
Hmm.
essentially a treasury management exercise for the corporates as well as for the banks, commercial banks. So
Hmm.
that is where it keeps on moving up and down. Next month, if you look at June, for the advanced tax flows, there will be an outflow. For the capital adequacy purposes, the banks will withdraw. So all those things will happen. You will actually see a drop in that number in the open-ended debt schemes. So
Okay.
it is mainly a treasury management exercise. But I'm happy to see that money is coming in the medium duration fund and short duration fund, sort of the same.
Hmm.
And essentially, with the stands taken by Reserve Bank of India, including the stands announced yesterday,
Hmm.
uh, we believe that we are not going to see a higher interest rate regime. On the
Huh.
contrary, with the interest rate regime falling lower after some period of time, people
Hmm.
who put money in the medium duration and short duration funds, they will tend to make more gains. So I think that is what the outlook is there for the debt funds.
Okay. Now, when we talk about the hybrid funds, for example, they have seen the fund flows increase to over 6,000 crore rupees on a month-on-month basis. The liquid flows, however, have decreased from about 63,000 crore rupees to about 45,000 odd crore rupees. What's likely to be the trend for these two going forward?
Hybrid, it had gone up in this month mainly because of the differential between the spot and the futures. So based on that, there was a renewed interest into the hybrid schemes. So that is where it had happened. In the liquid funds, it will be predominantly depending upon the cash available in the system. Currently, there is cash which is available, and with the 2,000 rupee note also being taken back by the banking system for giving other notes, I think you will see more cash in the banking system as such. So you will see
Okay.
more liquidity there. And with government spending happening, you will see more liquidity coming into the system. So with all these three things happening, maybe you will see more flows into the liquid funds.
Right. Since you talked about liquidity, we've just seen the RBI governor also talk about how after the step of 2000 rupee note withdrawal, about 50% of the notes have come back into the system. I just wanted to understand from you, have you noticed any trend of more funds being bought with these 2000 rupee notes in the last month or so?
We don't take cash in the sense
Okay.
that generally at the mutual fund industry, there is a limit of up to 50,000 which you can take for cash. But
Yeah.
rarely people come with cash to invest in mutual funds. It's all through the banking channel which
Hmm.
happens.
Hmm.
They have to have a bank account and they give the money from the bank account and redemption also happens into the bank account. So that's how
Hmm.
the mutual fund works. Uh, but overall, the liquidity in the system has increased.
Yeah, yeah. For you also, the total asset under management has been reported at 43.2 lakh crore rupees. That's also seen an improvement on month basis. We've been hearing about how AMFI is now moving towards the target of assets under management at 100 lakh crore rupees, which is more than double of the present size that we have. How soon are we looking at that target to be achieved from you?
This 43 lakh 20 itself is the highest number over
Yeah.
the last couple of years if you look at it. But we believe that with the India growth story doing well, Indian economy ramping up very fast, we will also get a fair share of money coming in into the mutual fund industry. So
Hmm.
we have tracked the way the economy grows, and our thought process is that by at least around 2028 to 2030, the 100 lakh crore number of AUM we should be able to see.
That's wonderful as well. Another important fact that I wanted to discuss with you was like just a week ago, we also saw, SEBI chairperson talk about AMFI urging AMFI to form an ethics committee to set up internal mechanisms within the fund houses to really catch those bad apples as well. What is your thought process on this? How soon are we going to see that ethics committee being formed? What will be the role of this ethics committee? How will it work around as well?
It is too early in the sense the SEBI chairperson had given us that sort of an indication during the inauguration of our new premises.
Hmm.
She said that we should have an ethics committee, which is the right thought process for when the industry grows. You need to have more self-regulation in place, and towards that, definitely the ethics committee will play a part. We are discussing internally amongst the members as well as with our board. So hopefully, maybe in a month to 45 days time, we should come out with a concrete proposal of how the ethics committee will be formed, who will be the constituents of the ethics committee, including maybe independent personnel who could be roped in to be part of that ethics committee, and then that ethics committee will give out the broad guidelines on how various best practice guidelines should be followed, and wherever there is if a particular AMC is not doing it in the right fashion, then the
Hmm.
ethics committee will take action based on that. So that is how it is at this particular point of time, but it is work in process.
Okay, work in process. Well, always a pleasure having you with us, Mr. Venkatesh, to seek all the insights from the mutual fund space. Here's wishing you all the very best. Many more records to be claimed both on SIP, AUM, and a lot of other fund flows event as well. And we'll continue to, seek all guidance from you and understanding from you as to how the industry is progressing going forward. Many thanks for being with us, sir.
Thank you, Sakshi.
All right, and with that, we wrap up this special edition. But lots of headlines coming in from this interaction. By 2028 or 2023, 30, you could actually see the assets under management for AMFI really jumping to more than double of the current levels of 43 lakh crore rupees to 100 lakh crore rupees. That's the aim with which the AMFI is really functioning at. The SIP flows that continue to be at record levels also. 15,700 crores is the kind of money flow via SIPs that Mr. Venkatesh did indicate is likely to come in on a monthly level by the end of this year as well. So a lot of things, positivity coming in as far as the mutual fund industry is coming in. But the markets right now are slightly soft, but despite that, we've been seeing strong flows coming in on the mutual funds. Until then, many thanks for tuning in, but do stay tuned onto Business Today TV for a lot more.
We're at the Business Today Tech Today Congress, and on the sidelines of it, I have with me Mr. Jaideep Keval Ramani. Thank you so much for joining us, sir, today.